Hi, and welcome to the Nothing to See Here podcast, a podcast about nothing. I'm Frankie.
I'm Hannah.
And I'm Eric Nom.
All right. Well, seeing as
Such a big
one
guest for our
third,
second show.
it's shocking.
Hmm.
Seeing as one third of our hosts aren't here, we're just gonna. I think we should just talk shit about Amanda
Hey,
Oh, yes. I lived with her
hey,
in college, so I got a lot of stuff to talk about.
all
hey,
episode. I think that's the best scenario here.
Oh, yeah.
I'm fine if you guys want to talk shit about me, but it's my episode, so save it for Frankie or your episode, Hannah.
Oh, you are here. Wow.
I thought we had Eric Nom. Where'd he
Yeah.
go?
Where'd Eric go?
Ha 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 ha. Well, just to let our viewers know, I met him, so I
Are you
paid money
besties
to meet
now?
him. God no, I he was just very genuine. I have nothing but nice things to say about him. So, no, my name is actually Amanda.
Well, thank you for joining us, Amanda.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Uh, Now in your diluted little time stream listeners, it's only been a day,
Right.
but for us, it's been a whole week.
Yeah, long time.
Things have changed.
I've changed.
Amanda and I are both under the weather.
Yeah,
We
I
decided to go outside in the cold, wet October rain.
for a murdery
Murdery
Murdery!
mystery.
murdery mystery for a murder mystery thing. Um, and it was pouring down rain. Uh,
Totally worth it.
was it worth it? Yes. Um, was I expecting to get this sick? No. I wouldn't say I'm this sick. I definitely, my nose is stuffy and
We got some head colds.
yeah, but it's all thanks to Hannah's dad who likes to speed walk.
You're the one who had the umbrella.
Yeah, but he's like, I want to be under the umbrella a little bit. And then he like sped walk as we were going to get like the cookies from the bakery. So I obviously I felt obligated to make sure some of the umbrella was under him. Well, meanwhile, I was just not under the goddamn umbrella.
I'd
So
like to say, Hannah,
Mm-hmm.
this is rich coming from Amanda, who yelled at me and two of our friends today for not walking fast enough when we were just looking at a baby kangaroo.
Oh.
I did not know
Oh.
that there was a baby kangaroo.
There's a baby kangaroo.
He didn't even point
That's
it out.
much more important than whatever you needed to do.
And we weren't walking fast enough.
Well, you were too busy watching the cute little baby kangaroo.
Yeah.
So it's okay.
Why was there a baby kangaroo in here? No reason. I don't know. I've literally no idea.
Yeah, was it dressed up?
It had a blanket around it.
Oh, that's so cute.
Did you
He
take a
didn't even tell me
picture?
about it.
No, it all happened too quickly, Hannah.
He didn't even tell me about it until like we were in the car coming back from
That's
leaving.
not true. I told you while we were waiting outside of the glass store.
You're right, you did. And what did I do outside of the glass store?
You looked at me and said, "You look like you're gonna cry again," and made a guy look at me very weirdly and back away.
He did. He backed away so like he was afraid Ricky was gonna like explode into tears at any minute. Oh, it's the funniest thing. And this was a burly man too. He was like, "Oh, not this shit." It's like
Yeah.
I don't do emotions.
Apparently, I always look sad and like I'm on the verge of tears. I wasn't aware of this.
just today, just today for some reason, you and your butt cup. Frankie got a butt cup.
I got peach lemonade and it had a peach on top of it.
And what do
Ooh,
peaches look like, Hannah?
a booty.
Yeah, he was drinking butt juice today.
I wasn't drinking. Okay, don't stop saying it like that. And you also had some too.
I never denied that I had butt juice.
Please stop saying those words together. Those are going on the internet. People are going to clip those sound bites forever and ever.
You know what? If they do, that means we've made it. So I'm okay
That's
with
going
Yeah, that
in your obituary.
that means someone listened to our episode, Hannah. So I'm
yeah,
I'm
That's
okay with
fair.
that.
that means
That's
we've
fair.
made it. So I don't mind.
Okay, fair.
I will say to the people who made that lemonade, delicious.
It was great. It was phenomenal.
Yeah, delicious. And the cup was very nice. I think it was a nice little touch. I just thought it was funny that he chose between peach and strawberry, and he chose the one that looked like a butt.
Because peach is a superior flavor. Also, strawberry flavoring sometimes can be a bit sour, and I don't want that with the lemonade. I don't want sour and sour. I want sweet and sour combined.
That's fair. That's fair. I did give you full reign over what lemonade we chose.
Yeah, you gave me full decision-making capabilities over the drink.
I did.
So Amanda, it's your episode. It's the
It
second
is my
episode.
episode.
We've
Yeah.
rotated over to you.
How the tides have changed.
Are we talking about gay vampires again?
Yeah, but this
No.
time at sea.
Woo.
Yeah. The ocean, which Hannah doesn't like.
I don't. Mm-mm.
No, so we kind of teased this a little bit. But recently there's been this trend. I don't know why it's like picked up speed. I'm gonna say TikTok is probably going to be helpful to that. But also there was that whole scandal with Jonah Hill, if you guys remember. Right? He like sent a text to his girlfriend and people were saying he was weaponizing therapy talk. So
I have not heard of the
Is
scandal,
that
but
is that the one where he was like saying hey to his girlfriend, hey, you better not surf, saying she wasn't allowed to surf or something?
yeah, it was I don't okay, so I didn't like read too much into it because like if I'm honest, Jonah Hill's not on my top like celebrity watch list. He doesn't do any K-pop, so not. But regardless, I from what I've seen, it was a lot of him setting these boundaries, but these boundaries being things that she had to do. And we'll get more into boundaries and like talking about boundaries in a second. But it was more so things that like if you're going to talk to all of these men while you're wearing like bikinis or something like that, then this isn't gonna work out type thing.
that is a red flag, is what that is.
Yeah. So what I'll say is if you it is up to you whether you want to be associated with a person or not. Okay? But it's also up to the other person as well to be like, is the reason you're not associating with me like a stupid reason as well. Right? So obviously, I would never want to associate with somebody who was like a white supremacist. Right? I'd just be like, fuck that person and like walk the other direction, not have anything to say. However, if I decided that I wasn't going to talk to Hannah anymore because Hannah, I'm trying to think of something that you do that irritates me, but I've lived with you.
I don't
You
do
are-
anything.
yeah, you were pretty good. Let's say I couldn't stand the smell of coffee that Hannah made,
Rude.
right? I couldn't stand
Smells
that.
delicious.
Right. Yes, I can
Mhm.
say, hey, I don't want to be associated with this person or live with this person because of the coffee that they make. But Hannah could also be like, well, that's a fucking stupid reason for Amanda to just not be friends with me. She might not be a good person, right? A relationship is a two-sided thing. It can go both ways. And we'll get
Yes.
into this. But apparently therapy talk has been weaponized. First and foremost, let me just say, as a therapist, and I am a therapist. I went to school and everything for 7
She
years.
has a master's.
I do. I'm an art therapist, but uh, as a therapist, I don't use therapy talk.
What is therapy talk?
I was just about to ask, can we define therapy talk?
So therapy talk or therapy speak is when people use like psychological, therapeutic, or mental health language in like day-to-day conversations. Terms like boundaries, abuse, psychopaths, trauma, right, are thrown around like willy-nilly. Okay. Now, these words, when they're used, okay, are very powerful. And do I use them as a therapist? Yes, but I don't use them in a day-to-day thing. I don't go up to people and be like, "Hey, this is my boundary," right? No. I mean, you can, but sometimes when people use therapy talk, and makes others feel like they may be an expert in the mental health field, or it may make themselves feel like they're an expert in this mental health field. Which, to be honest, irritates us in the mental health field because we went to school for it and we actually know what we're talking about. Hannah, what do you think a psychopath is?
Well, when I hear the word psychopath, I automatically think serial killer. Um, Correct me if I'm wrong, but psychopaths tend to be very unemotional. They are uncaring. I don't know how I want to continue.
So, fun fact: has anybody heard of the DSM-5?
I have not.
Frankie, have you heard of this?
DSM is that what you said?
Yes.
No, not a clue.
Okay. So, the DSM-5, the 5th edition, right? The DSM stands for the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders, right? It's the 5th edition. The
Kind of
DSM,
sounds like a gaming system.
a little bit.
Sony's coming out with the DSM-5.
God, no. The DSM is basically a full list of mental disorders, right? Ranging from trauma to autism spectrum disorder, right? Nowhere in the DSM is psychopathy, right, listed as an official clinical diagnosis. What we consider the true definition of a psychopath, right, in psychiatry is somebody with ASPD.
Oh, I know what that is.
What is it, Frankie?
That's antisocial personality disorder.
Absolutely.
That's what all the fucking serial killers have.
Right. But you hear the word psychopath thrown around willy-nilly, right?
It's so much more fun to say.
It is. I'll say that. And even with like antisocial personality disorder, right? Whenever I say that, I'm guessing you guys are thinking like somebody who's like a reserved loner, somebody that keeps to themselves, right?
No.
Oh, good. Oh,
But I give you some context?
Yeah.
As to why? I've been listening to a lot of Last Podcast on the Left episodes this weekend,
that doesn't, yeah, okay.
and they were talking about John Wayne Gacy, who had antisocial personality disorder, and he loved people. He loved them too much. That was the problem.
Right. So, antisocial personality disorder is basically somebody who goes against society rules and other behaviors that are more commonplace. Right?
That is not the definition I anticipated.
No. So, since the term psychopath is not an official diagnosis, experts refer to the signs described under antisocial personality disorder. So, somebody who disregards or violates the rights of others, right? Behaviors that conflict with social norms, the inability to distinguish between right and wrong, right? Difficulty showing remorse or empathy, okay? Tendency to lie pretty often, manipulating and hurting others, reoccurring problems with the law, general disregard towards safety and responsibility, expressing anger and arrogance on a regular basis, right? Some other signs could be lacking deep emotional connections, having a superficial charm about them. Can anybody say the words Ted Bundy? Right? Being very aggressive, and getting very angry. Psychopathy is not a DSM diagnosis, but people tend to throw that word around because they think they know what it means. Recently, I think it's become like the norm where people feel like they're the expert on mental health, right? Or people try and counsel other people, right? Maybe because that person's been to therapy. Okay. This might be a hot take, but just because you go to therapy, that doesn't mean you're an expert in the mental health field. Whether you guys think that's a hot take or not, I don't know.
That's a pretty lukewarm take, honestly.
It's a ice cold take.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, I say so, but
I think it should be an ice cold take.
it should be. But I don't think that's it, right? Therapy is great. I'm a therapist. If we didn't have therapy, I'd be out of a job. And I hope that one day maybe we won't need to, but that doesn't seem likely. I think therapy can really benefit anybody. But regardless, right? Just because you go to therapy doesn't mean you're an expert just because you've been seeing a therapist for a while. Okay. Now, what I'm saying is you're not an expert in the mental health field overall, but you, as an individual, are an expert on your own mental health, right? On your own feelings, your own emotions, everything that's going on within you, right? Even as a therapist, I can only guesstimate, right? And sometimes I get it wrong, right? If Hannah comes to me and she looks kind of like sad, right? I go, oh, it looks like you're feeling sad about something, right? Am I correct on this, right? I'll often like say, is this something that like you're actually feeling, or am I like way off base, right? And Hannah's like, actually, no, I'm really pissed off, right? I could be wrong because I don't know Hannah. I can take a guess based on her body language and like the rapport that we build and stuff, right? But I'm not an expert. So you as an individual are the expert on you. So that's not what I'm saying here. What I'm saying is the mental health field in general. Just because you go to therapy doesn't mean you're an expert on it. I went to school for 7 years, and I don't even think I'm somebody who can classify as an expert. Do I feel like I know a little bit more than others? Yes, but I don't know if I would call myself an expert here.
We'll
Okay.
get you a PhD first.
Even then, I don't know if I would call myself an expert even then. I mean, the mental health field is such a nuanced field. What is weaponized therapy speak? So, therapy speak has quickly and easily become another thing that has kind of come into the cultural mainstream that I've seen as of late.
Is
Well,
this
really,
from the TikTok?
um, I see it most on TikToks, but honestly, some
Yeah,
of the YouTubers that I walk, well, I walk with YouTubers. Some of the YouTubers that I watch, like things will come up where like therapy speak has been weaponized. Uh, you may see this with like even groomers, unfortunately. Um,
And to clarify, you mean adults
grooming children, yes.
grooming children? Yes, not dog groomers.
No, 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 no. Um, I maybe dog groomers are there talking to their dogs like, hey, we need to set some boundaries here. But um I don't know. I mean, if the dogs are biting you, maybe.
I was gonna say it might be warranted if you have to set boundaries with the dog.
Right. I mean, Truffles bites my toes. So I've set the boundary of wearing socks to your house.
I've also set the boundary of locking Truffles in the hallway
Yeah.
away from everyone when people are over.
Oftentimes people are now weaponizing therapy speak as a way to manipulate or hurt somebody, right? So, some examples. Misusing the concept of boundaries and trauma. So, boundaries are basically what I like to refer to as your fuck no, right? Things that you're not willing to accept about how people treat you, what, people talk about, right? Boundaries, however, only apply to you, okay? You can't set boundaries for other people. What I mean to say is you can't be like, I can't go up to Hannah or Frankie. And I can't be like, hey, Frankie, nobody can talk about murder in front of you anymore.
that's upsetting.
Yeah,
That
that's not my boundary to set. However, I can sure as hell be like, hey, I'm uncomfortable if we talk about murder, right? And I don't want any part of that. Okay? See the difference?
I do, because otherwise I'd be very sad the other way
Mhm.
around. I have a lot of last podcast on the left episodes to finish listening to, so
Right. Boundaries don't refer to how you can package your dislikes and disapprovals, right? When it comes to controlling somebody's life, right? So we kind of saw with Jonah Hill, right? If you're going to continue to do this, I'm going to separate myself. Now, he can absolutely separate himself, but he also was kind of weaponizing that in a way, right? Kind of saying, hey, just because you're confident in your body, right, and you're walking around in bikinis, I think he was dating a surfer, if I'm not
She was a
wrong.
surfer.
Yeah, right. And you're confident in your body and you're taking all of these Instagram photos and posting with men, right? That doesn't necessarily have to mean anything. In fact, I think that shows a little bit of insecurities. But I'm also a human. I can't say that I wouldn't be insecure, but the fact that his disapproval, right? He's making her feel as if she's doing something wrong. And
That's not
almost
cool.
right, and almost like that manipulation of this is wrong. You probably don't see it as wrong, but it's wrong to me. I'm going to tell you why, and you need to change this, or else we're not going to be in a relationship together. Right? That's kind of what he was implying there. Right? Either change or I'm gone. Which again, his boundaries are his own boundaries, but that gets into like gray area territory, and it feels a little gross, if I'm honest.
It feels like he was giving her an ultimatum.
Right. And ultimatums are fine, I think, for important things. Like again,
Yeah.
if I find out I was like dating a not good person, maybe they like kick dogs as like a hobby or something, right? That's an ultimatum. Like actually, that's probably worse than an ultimatum. Like you kick dogs, I'm sorry.
If you
I'm
kick a
gone.
dog, I'm then
Peace
kicking
out.
you.
Yeah. You see it a lot with like I think like couples, right? Couples who maybe have kids who like one of the um partners in the relationship is struggling with substance abuse of some kind. Hey, you either work on fixing this or I'm gone, right? Those are different. This one just doesn't seem like a good reason for an ultimatum. This is a very tricky thing, which is why I'm going to say I'm not an expert here. But lately, I also see a lot of things that are blamed on trauma. Definition of trauma. Trauma is an event that is really deeply disturbing or unsettling, right? So much so in our nervous system that our brain and body keeps re-experiencing that situation and symptoms repeatedly, as if it's happening for the first time over and over and over again. Like a soldier watching his friend blow up in the war. He's just reliving that. And sometimes he can't form that into words. So he's just like replaying that in his body over and over and over again. It's a very visceral experience. Trauma is not I have a trauma with spiders. I don't like spiders. That is not what a trauma is. I hate buttons that aren't attached to anything. I don't have a trauma related to that. I just don't like it. Do you see what I'm kind of getting at here?
Yes.
Frankie's been real quiet lately.
I want to say yes, but there are people who have fears related to a trauma that they've experienced. You're not saying that someone can't have a fear because of a trauma. Are
That
you?
is not, no, that's
Okay.
not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is just because you don't like spiders, that doesn't mean you have a trauma associated with it. Now you can, right? Maybe you are locked underneath a house for like a while and all you felt were the spiders crawling on you, right? Being locked like underneath a house, pretty traumatizing. The big T trauma often happens when we have been at a risk of losing our lives, right? Or have witnessed somebody losing their life, or have been through abuse. And repeated incidents is often what we call CPTSD. What do you guys think the C means?
Continue.
Oh, that's a good guess. It's actually complicated. Complicated post-traumatic stress disorder.
I was nowhere close because I suddenly could only think of the word cat.
Mhm.
That's a good word, though.
But it's a good word, but I
Cat
was
PT.
100% sure it was not cat post-traumatic stress disorder.
Nope, not definitely not. However, small T trauma, right, develops from more common life experiences like bereavement, right, losing someone, job loss, or even seemingly like happy things like immigrating or getting job promotions, right, that we think are going to
So,
be happy but turn into maybe more depressing things,
so
right?
more like commonplace or
Right.
normal, quote unquote.
Right.
Like I guess you could say.
Yeah, it's definitely not like the big traumas that we think of, right? Whenever like you are watching a movie and somebody has PTSD, it's normally like that big T trauma type thing. But that doesn't mean that you can't have trauma from small life experiences as well. Or more common. I don't want to say small because some things are kind of rough, right? You can definitely be traumatized by the death of a loved one, for sure. But again, just because you have a fear of spiders doesn't mean that you were traumatized by them. You could be, but that's not what it means. Just because you have a fear doesn't mean that it is also a trauma. Does that make sense?
Fear does not equate trauma.
Right. All the time. It can.
Not all the time.
Right. It can for certain. Was that helpful, Frankie?
That was helpful. Thank you.
Yeah. Another thing I see, calling everyone an abuser.
This I see on TikTok so much.
Ugh. Calling everybody an abuser, right? Every relationship that I see is labeled as toxic, right? Or everybody is being gaslighted.
Yes, yes.
Okay. I'm gonna let you in on something here.
Is it that those people are 9 times out of 10 talking shit?
I'm not gonna give a measurement here. What I'm gonna say is, as a therapist, the word abuser, toxic, and gaslighting, I've been doing this like my job where I'm at currently. I've been doing this for almost about a year. I've used the term gaslighting twice in the entire year, and abuser maybe a handful of times. Toxic hasn't left my mouth a single time. Now, I know what they mean, obviously. But again, I think people come into therapy and they're like, man, they're using all these big therapy words and therapy talk and like all this. Honestly, if you come into therapy, I'm less like, yo, what's up? How's your week been? Like, what's been going on? Right? I don't like talking like so formal or so like professional. One, that's not a way to build the therapeutic relationship because therapy is a relationship. And two, just me as a person, it feels weird. Frankie, how would you feel if I suddenly like came up to you and was just like, so how have you been feeling about your job lately?
I'm sorry. Are you just coming up to me on the street
Yeah.
and doing this? That'd be
Yeah,
fucking.
if you came over to my house,
Well,
right? If you came over to my house and the first thing I did was, Frankie, how have you been feeling at your job? Right? Would you say you're feeling dissatisfied?
I'd leave mostly because of the voice. It's a weird voice. Why are you speaking to me like that?
And two,
Why are you using? Why are you asking if I'm dissatisfied at my job?
yeah, I just oh, sorry.
All right, what are you playing the fucking Switch?
No,
What's
no,
going on here?
no. So my phone, I was at the Eric Nam concert and I don't use Snapchat very often.
Yeah, all right. Yeah,
And
okay.
I finally pulled it up and now it won't leave me the fuck alone.
Just explaining therapy terms, playing fucking Rune Factory over here.
I'm not playing Rune Factory. But if nobody has played Rune Factory 4, and they're watching this, do yourself a favor and play it.
However, I mean, I will say I may be different from other people.
Mhm.
If I went to someone as a therapist that I knew personally, I would never go to you because
I
you
don't
know
think
me
that's
too.
legal.
Yeah, I would hope not. That's a conflict of interest, and
Yeah,
I would say no if you were like, "Hey, can you like be my therapist?" I would say absolutely no.
but
Honestly, if I know anybody, it's a conflict of interest. I have to report that to my supervisor and be like, "Hey, I know this person," and we proceed with caution if I am to be that therapist. But thankfully, we have two other therapists in my department, so
if I went to someone, I would personally, and it's like at their office, right?
Mhm.
It's in a professional setting.
Mhm.
I personally would want them to speak in a less casual manner.
Mhm.
But that's also just my training
Mhm.
because as a lawyer, you are taught, hey, they are coming to you and spending their money. when you're explaining something to them, yeah, you use the language that they're going to understand, but you got to speak like a lawyer. You're not hired to speak like the common person. You're hired because you're a lawyer. So my training gets me to want, if I'm going to a doctor or a therapist, I'm
Mhm.
going to them because they are a therapist. I want them to speak like a therapist.
So I could, right? But I also feel, and again, this is my take, and this is why there's so many different kinds of therapists. So if you find a therapist that's not for you, right, don't just completely quit on therapy. There are other people out there that can probably fit your needs, right? If somebody wants me to talk all of the jargon, I can, but I'm not going to come out whipping the jargon out willy nilly because I found that most people get a little afraid of that. Most people can find that a little intimidating, first off. Hannah, I'm curious your thoughts on this. Just like I can see you also like liking professionalism, but also liking casual. Like if you went to therapy, what would you prefer?
I'm not fully sure because I do appreciate like professionalism as you were talking about. But then I like also think of my own job, and I work in social media and I write book reviews
Mhm.
also. So I am so used to talking very casually. I use a lot of slang in my day-to-day life that I don't know if I would prefer someone to be super casual with me in therapy or not. I truly don't know.
And I do think it's a learned thing. Like obviously with as a therapist, I don't like come out and I'm not like leaning back in my chair. I don't have like a blanket on. I'm not like super casual, right? I'm still dressed appropriately and stuff. But I also don't want to like come straight out the gate with like all of the serious stuff, right? I'm a person too as a therapist. And that's one things I want to make clear is that I am also a person. I'm also living in this world. I also make mistakes. I also do things. And yes, I am a therapist in this situation, but you're the client here. You're the one technically running the show. I'm just kind of asking questions and maybe helping guide you on a path, right? Maybe you're leaning off to the side on this path. Maybe I'm trying to keep you more in the middle, right? But as a client, whoever's in the therapy session, they should be the one really leading the session. I just follow their lead. And with that, that means I can try and adapt to what they feel is super comfortable. And I found more often than not, people are really comfortable when I just talk like my normal self. Now, obviously, I don't go around like saying, fuck this and fuck that, like everywhere and stuff. I feel like that's not exactly,
That's not everyone's cup of tea.
yeah, that's not exactly great, right? Not only that, but I do have some air of professionalism about me. But I also am not gonna like hide my flub ups either, right? If I, you've seen it before. If you've listened to this podcast right now, I've messed up my words a couple of times, right? And just being like, I can use words, right? And like proceeding from there because I am a human being. And I think people sometimes tend to see therapists as like this, we see everything, we are like the ultimate like advice givers. As a therapist, it's not my job to give advice. My job is to help you navigate through hard times on your own, help you with giving you skills, right? Coping techniques, things that are going to help you in your life. Okay. But I am in no means going to give advice. Do I think I'm an advice giver? Absolutely not. And if you came to me as your therapist and you came to me and you're like, what should I do in this situation? I would turn the question right back on you. What do you think you should do? Where are we leaning? Where is this like blockage? And helping you figure out what decision you want to make. Calling everybody an abuser or everything toxic or everybody is being gaslit. I've seen this one so much. Please tell me I'm not the only one.
No. As I just said, I work in social media. Half my day is spent scrolling TikTok and Instagram. And the amount of times I've seen, and TikTok specifically, I've like somehow stumbled across a video where it's like, put a finger down if you did this growing up, or you did this, and then like you get through the whole video, and it's like, congratulations, you have childhood trauma, and it'll be like something like very minuscule, like sounding will be like, you are a latchkey kid.
I remember seeing this. No, actually, I was in high school. I was in college. This was in grad school, and one of my classmates, I'm not gonna say their name, but one of my classmates, we were talking about like our childhood, and I said, I was really close to my mom. I still am really close to my mom. Shout out to Monique.
Shout out
But
to my second mother.
yes, shout out to Monique. You may, if you listen to this podcast, hear her chime in at some point. Maybe. Who knows? But I was talking about how I was really close to my mom. And for a really, I don't want to say a long time, because it really wasn't a long time, but there was like a 3-month period after I had gotten my first period where I didn't want to hug my dad because it felt weird. And somebody was like, oh, you have childhood trauma with your dad. I was like, that is not what that is. That was me being uncomfortable in my own body. I didn't really want to hug anybody, especially not a guy. Like, I wasn't hugging anybody at that point. Not every little thing has to be summed up into childhood trauma either. And while I'm happy mental health is being spread and there is awareness being out there, I'm also a little worried, and you'll see some other people in the mental health field also chiming in on this. I know me and my coworkers have talked about this a lot, that what's being spread might be misinformation. Just because you are maybe sensitive to like loud sounds, that doesn't mean that you are on the autism spectrum. Okay? You could be, but that's not a guarantee. I saw a TikTok that was like, if you have an aversion to loud sounds, you are autistic. No, that's
No.
not what that means. Okay? It is a possibility, absolutely, but that's not a guarantee. So I feel like I see that spread around a lot. An abuser or somebody who's abusive means that they're consistently acting in ways that hurt you, mentally, physically, sexually, financially, emotionally, and or spiritually. And there's little attempt to repair that. And instead you're told you're either crazy or sensitive, is kind of what we see a lot. And if you try and escape, you will pay for it. Most of the time people are doing that to get like a weird sadistic kick out of things. They're doing it deliberately. Similarly, right, when a relationship is toxic, it means that it's consistently bad for you. That doesn't mean that a relationship is toxic just because somebody has one red flag. And then lastly, when somebody gaslights you, they are intentionally messing with you, right? Messing with your take on reality. So you stop trusting yourself and instead trust them. So somebody giving you like the wrong information doesn't mean that they're gaslighting you purposefully.
Sometimes
Right.
it just means you're stupid and you don't know what you're saying.
Exactly.
I do that
Yeah.
often. I'm dumb.
Can I tell you a story?
Yeah.
One time, someone tried to gaslight me into believing school shootings hadn't gone up since 2015.
I hope you didn't believe them.
I did not. I laughed in their face. But I have to call it gaslighting because I don't know what else it could have been.
Maybe they honestly thought that. Gaslighting, there has to be that intent to make you doubt yourself and make them.
I mean, they sounded pretty sure of themselves, but I don't think that means anything.
Right, and it could be.
Do you know where the term came from?
I do not, actually. Do you?
I do. I do know.
Please enlighten me.
It's from a movie.
Oh,
well, actually a play, but it was turned into a film. So most people know it from the movie.
All right.
From the 1930s. So it's a movie called Gaslight.
Oh,
well, the play's called Gaslight, but the plot is about this husband who mentally and emotionally manipulates his wife into thinking she is losing her mind by changing the intensity of the gas lamps.
Yes, I do.
Wow.
I've heard of this.
So that's why it's called gaslighting. Because what the definition has become, he is doing to her
through the actual
gaslights in their home.
I learned a new fun fact today.
Nobody do that to me. That would really fuck me up.
You don't have gas lights in your home.
No, but if you like change the light
Quick,
bulbs,
Hannah, sneak over and install gas lights in her house.
Okay, I'll start walking there now.
Yeah.
but if you like change the light bulbs from like what they are now to like LED light bulbs, I'd fucking lose my mind.
I'm gonna do that. Every
Please
time
do.
I come over, I'm gonna just change one light bulb.
Now I'm gonna be paranoid, and every time you leave, I'm gonna be like, "Did you change the light bulb?" Like to see you try and reach the light bulb on my bedroom ceiling. My fan's so tall, my ceiling's so high in here. There's no way you can get here, and I don't have a ladder.
I'll
I
bring a
literally
ladder.
had to put a
I can
chair.
easily purchase a ladder.
I had to put a chair on top of another chair on top of my bed to get up to change the light bulb.
What are we talking about here? I can purchase a ladder.
Yeah.
Did you know ladders are legal to buy?
Aren't they expensive?
I don't know, I've never bought a ladder.
Yeah, okay.
You could borrow one from someone. You don't have to buy one.
Yeah. Ask his dad for a ladder.
Oh,
You know, the one
God.
he broke his
Yes.
leg on.
I'll drive
Oh,
all the
please
way
scrap
to
that
Hannah's
one.
house and then drive all the way to Pittsburgh.
Don't tell people where I live.
Don't triangulate us.
Yeah, we live in the Pittsburgh area.
Yeah.
We live exactly at 123 Dreamer Street in somewhere.
in somewhere. Somewhere PA.
No, just somewhere. Not even
somewhere-
a state.
No state. Gotcha.
Mhm.
Regardless. Gaslighting. That's interesting.
Yeah, I thought so.
My new fun fact.
Yeah, bust that out at a party.
Did you learn that from a Snapple cat?
I didn't. I learned that. I don't remember where I learned that.
Oh, that would be a good Snapple cap.
That would
fact.
be a great Snapple cap. I learned that flamingos are pink because they eat shrimp based on a Snapple cap. The other two that I see pretty frequently, and this will be like the last I have to say on this, is I often, and I get this with clients sometimes too, they'll come up to me and they'll say, you know, my partner isn't doing their job. They're not holding me accountable. Now, let me first off say accountability is a great thing. When the party in question is actually interested in staying accountable and is responsible enough to be accountable on their own. However, if somebody is telling you that you have to help them stay accountable, right? You don't have to do that. You can if you want to help that person, obviously. Like if me and Hannah are on a like quest to do a bunch of squats, like 30 squats each night, right? And we both are like, hey, we should text each other whenever we do it so that we can like, if one of us hasn't done it yet, we can encourage the other. And we both agree on that. That's different. If I'm in a relationship with somebody, I'm gonna like, hey, you have to wake me up at 9 a.m. every day so that I can get to work on time. And then when I don't, when they don't do it, I then get mad at them for it.
Maybe you should just set an alarm.
Yeah, that's not okay. And then the last thing that I see is forcing people for authenticity to get emotional or mental health treatment, or forcing like emotional expression. I think I see this a lot on TikTok, right? You have to be authentic and genuine in everything you do. Absolutely fucking not. I am not going to be genuine when I am at the DMV getting my license renewed.
I think
No.
you can be genuinely upset and pissed.
Yeah. I mean, you can be, but do I really have to be genuine going to buy my soda at Getco at like 6 a.m. when I'm going into work? And I don't think you have to force that either, right? If I'm on a date with somebody and they're like, I don't feel like you're being really genuine to me. It's our first date, all right? I don't know if I want to be. You can't force other people to like showcase emotions because you don't feel happy with what they're bringing to the table. Okay. I lived with Hannah for a really long time, and Hannah can sometimes, and I think she'll agree with this, back in college, Hannah was emotionally constipated sometimes.
Whoa! Whoa!
Hannah is still emotionally constipated.
Yeah.
We're just gonna use
He does not show
bathroom
emotions. If she's gonna
bathroom
cry,
terms
she's
like
gonna
that.
hide and do it.
Yeah. Yeah. Hannah was emotionally constipated before I got to know her.
Still just
Right.
throwing
But
bathroom.
I never once forced Hannah to be like, show me you're actually sad, right? Just
I
like,
had to work up to that point. I had to get comfortable with you. I had to get to know you.
yeah. In
And
fact,
to be fair, we're best friends, and I still won't cry in front of you because I don't like people seeing me cry.
no, I've seen Hannah cry 3 times in our
Oh my God, you
relationship.
counted.
I have.
She's
One,
got like a little Pokedex of it, actually, like little Pokedex entries
She marked the calendar like Hannah cried
for the
today.
for the Hannah Pokemon.
one was when we surprised you with truffles,
Okay, yeah.
and I have that on video.
Those
Yeah.
are happy. Those are happiness tears.
I
There,
don't think I really cried. I got like teary
No,
eyed.
you cried. I saw a tear slide down your face, and I even
Okay.
mentioned it in the video. So,
Okay.
and I will pull Monique in here if I need to get some attest.
No, I'll believe you. I'll believe you.
Because I mean, you had been wanting a corgi forever, and Truffle's just like, we surprised the fuck out of you.
yeah. For those of you not in the know, when they say they brought Hannah truffles, they don't mean the chocolatey treat.
My family has 2 corgis. One cardigan corgi, so one with the tail, and her name is Truffles. And we also have a Pembroke Welsh corgi, so one without a tail, and his name is Waffles. And I'm very surprised they haven't made their appearance yet because normally they bark at the wind.
But-
Eventually they will bark, but
Yeah.
so far I'm surprised they have not.
Yeah, one of them was when we surprised Hannah with Truffles, when Truffles was a puppy. Hannah's mom got in contact with me and my mom, and we brought Truffles up to our dorm room to surprise the fuck out of Hannah.
Illegally admitting to a crime on tape. Wow.
Yeah, I'm
Mhm.
okay with that.
Listen, Res Life can't do anything about it now.
No, yeah. What are they gonna do? Come at me, Res Life.
Honestly, I think if you had went to the RA and been like, "Can we get 5 minutes
Yeah,
of the dog up here?" Then we're like, "Okay,
yeah.
just do it."
Our RA was dope that year. So, but yeah, one of them was when we surprised Hannah with Truffles. One of them was when something really sad happened. I won't get into it because it's personal. Sorry.
I think
podcast.
I know what you're talking about. So
Yeah, yeah. And then the last one.
The last one was when Amanda actually put fake tears down on Hannah to prank her, and it was a big joke, and everyone laughed.
Ha 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 ha. No, the last time is when we graduated and we realized we weren't going to be living together anymore.
That's so sweet.
And we were both like, we did it. And it was
only one of those times was actually,
sad.
dare I say, traumatic.
Yeah. Well, it was a sad moment. So
I mean, I had a panic attack. I think that's fair to say
That
it's
was-
traumatic.
yeah. It's a traumatic experience all around. Frankie was probably traumatized by it too, but we won't get into what it was. But yeah.
What was that? Off air, we're going into it. What was I fucking traumatized by? This is an off-air conversation. I apologize.
Okay, we will continue this conversation in an hour
I'll tell you when we end. I'm not gonna just announce this on our second episode.
Yeah,
Hey,
I know, but
stick around.
We gotta get comfortable with
Yeah,
all our listeners first
yeah,
before
every
we can
Stick
trauma
around.
dump
single
on them.
one.
yeah. If you stick around, maybe we'll talk about it. It did
Episode
have-
100, we will
Yeah.
talk about it.
Yeah, it did have to do with me, I will say. But regardless, that's the only time I've seen Hannah cry in the what we've known each other 7 years, almost 8.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Also, I
So-
realized we're thinking of 2 different moments in time.
Are we?
I think we might be.
We
will compare after
find
we
out.
stop recording.
Yeah, we'll find out.
And you listeners won't.
Yeah, sorry guys. Maybe later. So I feel like everybody has just been psychoanalyzing everybody. And one, I hate psychoanalysis. I'm not a big Freud person. I mean, he is the father of therapy, but he also did a lot of cocaine. So,
Whoa.
did you not know that?
No, I did. But being a genius and doing a lot of cocaine, not mutually exclusive. Have you listened to the Beatles recently?
Okay, fine. I shouldn't say that. I will say I don't think his theories are great, right? Women are jealous of men because we want a penis.
I don't even
No.
want a penis sometimes.
Fun
so.
fact, you can use Freud as a good reference in like literature, like papers, but not for psychology papers.
No, absolutely not. That is true.
Mm-hmm.
I had a professor tell me once, if you quote anything from Freud, I'm going to throw it out.
And I had a professor who said, yeah, use Freud, it's fun.
What I will say, I will tell you what one of my favorite theories is. I still think this is wrong, but I think it's really fun. Frankie, did you know that men have pockets because they secretly want a womb?
I have pockets because I secretly want to hold a lot of items.
Because technically, you subconsciously
Like a
want a
squirrel.
womb.
Like no,
You
like a
want a
squirrel. I want to
you
hoard
want a
things.
womb, Frankie. You want to be able to give like birth to life and
that sounds painful by all accounts.
yeah.
I don't even like stubbing my toe, so
So according to Freud, does that mean
No,
we should be putting
Freud is all about penis envy. There's a woman called I think Catherine Horney. So Catherine Horney kind of flipped the script. Instead of like the Oedipus complex as well, it was the Electra complex and all that
yeah,
fun stuff.
that fucking movie gave me a complex. Jesus Christ, that movie sucked.
Which one?
Yo, Electra, what do you mean? What the fuck?
Ah,
Yeah, you remember the movie
do.
where she stabbed some sandbags to
Yeah.
fucking wake me up? That's a great scene, by the way.
She woke you up?
Wake Me Up, the song. Is that not what the song's called?
Oh, you mean am I remembering the right movie? Hold on.
Man, I tried to make a joke, a pop culture joke, and it died.
Wait, is this the one with Jennifer Gardner?
Yeah, someone call 911. My joke's like about to. It needs an ambulance ride.
Do you want me to start it over?
I don't want. I think it's funnier that you don't know. Actually, to be fair,
it took me a minute. I was like, I think I know what movie you're talking about. It is the one with Jennifer Gardner, correct?
yeah. And there's a
Okay.
scene where she's like training
With Evanescence, Wake
with
Me Up.
Evan
and
Effett
yeah.
playing in the background. It's fucking
yeah,
hilarious.
it is good. It is very good. How did we get on Freud?
I don't know. You
Freud
don't
did
like
cocaine?
You don't like psychoanalysis.
I don't like psychoanalysis, and it seems like a lot of people nowadays are trying to psychoanalyze people and use terms that they think they know what it means, but they don't actually know what it means, which I think is just something a lot of people in the United States do.
Man, the world. It's look, whenever something becomes popular in like the zeitgeist, people love to become that. I've never seen so many lawyers as when there's a high publicity trial happening in America, and everyone has become a lawyer apparently. So I think whenever something comes out that's going to be like, oh, psychology based, man, there's going to be so many therapists online.
God, I hope not.
By that I
have
mean people who think they're therapists and are not actually.
Oh, okay.
That's what I
Oh,
mean by that. It's like it's people who think they're lawyers.
They're jumping on the bandwagon.
Yeah, and they're gonna comment and go, well, legally this, and this, and everything they've said is wrong.
I feel like that's already happened.
It does. It happens all the time.
If you're somebody, and I'm speaking to our audience, I don't know who's out there. Maybe it's just our moms.
It's just me as I edit.
Yeah. Whoever, if you are thinking of being a therapist, I'm not saying this to like discourage you or anything or be like, right, if you have an interest and you've actually learned what these words mean, you're actually doing the research. I'm not trying to dissuade you into using them or not using them or whatever. What I'm saying is before you use words that are common in therapy, please make sure you know what they mean. Just because you using them could then cause and spread misinformation that is really hard to take back, because once people think that they're right about something, it's really hard to prove them wrong. So just be mindful about what you're saying out there. This is probably the most serious topic that you'll ever hear me speak about. So congrats. I think this might have been the most serious that Frankie and Hannah have ever heard me be.
Correct.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So thank you for listening. And I will say my opinions in no way are like speak for everybody. But this is our podcast, so sucks to suck.
We're gonna start getting silly soon.
Oh, we're getting silly tomorrow, baby.
What's tomorrow? Are you gonna
It's
tease?
my topic.
What is it gonna be?
Are you gonna tease some things?
I am
Yeah.
gonna tease it. I'm gonna let everyone know what the topic is. I got it picked out. I'm ready.
Okay.
I can't wait.
We're gonna be talking about what some historians and his contemporaries have deemed the most incompetent pirate in history.
Oh, I can't wait.
We're talking about Stead Bonnet.
Oh,
Oh,
I can't wait for you
Oh,
to teach me
fuck.
about this.
oh fuck! I know about this guy.
We're talking about the man, the myth, the legend, Stead Bonnet.
You couldn't have talked about somebody cool like Anne Bonny,
What do you mean not cool?
Yankee Jim.
Yankee Jim's not real. He's a fake ghost. Ghosts aren't real. That'll be an episode. Later.
And me and Hannah will be over here like,
But
maybe.
we're talking about Stead Bonnet, the world's most incompetent pirate.
I'm gonna come armed with pirate puns.
Oh, I'm excited. I'm excited about that.
Okay, great. Oh, I can't wait.
Part of me wishes this was on video so that I could wear an eye patch.
You can just
We're not gonna see.
Nobody would know.
Yeah. Yeah, it's fine. Just tell them.
Yeah, but I could be lying.
It's the internet. No one would just go on the internet and lie.
The internet is for truthers only.
Yeah. Haven't you ever watched Arthur? With that being said, let's take care of some business and wrap up.
Was this a good topic?
I don't what? Yeah, it was good.
I'm
It
just
was good.
I
What
just
are we-
wanted to get
what are
your
we-
Well, I
we're
didn't mean
gonna have a fucking team meeting on recording? We're gonna like what's going on?
Well, Hannah asked at the end of hers, "How was this? Did you
Did
like
she?
this?"
Did
I
she?
asked if you enjoyed learning about it.
Yeah, that was kind of what I was doing, dickhead.
I didn't ask. Was this good?
Sorry, I phrased it wrong. I mean,
I'm
Sorry,
sorry
did
for
you
making fun
enjoy
of you. I
this
love you.
topic?
I always enjoy learning, Amanda.
Hannah didn't respond.
You created a very interesting topic because you pointed out some things I've realized I do when I'm putting my trigger and content warnings on my blog.
Well, I'm glad you guys learned something.
Always happy to learn.
Learning is cool.
Yeah.
And you, our audience, are just happening to learn with three idiots.
Yeah, 3 people who don't know what they're talking about.
I feel like I know a little about what I was talking about, but
Okay, so just 2 idiots today.
I mean, I will say I'm probably going to be an idiot when it comes to a lot of things. So just today, I wasn't.
All
But
right.
I did play school for 7 years.
Sorry,
So
excuse me.
I feel, I'd feel rough calling myself an idiot on this.
You have 2 degrees in this, so you are most definitely not an idiot when it comes to
That's true.
therapy and therapy talk.
My bank account would cry. My student loan debt would cry.
I will say, Hannah, you have an English degree. Am I correct
do.
in saying that? Yeah. So
Yes, I have a degree in English literature.
yeah, so your topic last week, pretty good for you. Me,
Yeah.
on the other hand, no degree in pirates. We're just going at it full force. We're just talking about them.
Can one have a degree in pirates?
I don't know. You can have a degree in a lot of things.
I'm gonna look this up
Hey,
for next.
There's degrees in political science. So like, I mean, why can't there be degrees in pirates?
Be nice to the poli-sci majors.
I have a degree in political science,
I know.
so I can insult them. It's fine. We deserve it. It's a fake degree. What the fuck do you do with a political science degree? Anyway, let's take care of.
Become a lawyer.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, I think
Or-
we went off on enough tangents.
You become a lawyer or a political science professor. You don't do anything else.
Okay. All right.
Let's
Well,
wrap up and take care of business.
all right. I'm wrapping it up.
I was gonna do the little business stuff.
Oh, then you do business stuff. Go ahead.
I love doing the business stuff.
Hey, you do the business stuff.
Yes.
I'm sorry. I'll be quiet.
Leave us a review. 5 stars only. We don't want anything below that. If you have something below that, email it to us. Amanda will read it. Me
I
and Hannah
will.
won't.
Yeah, I will read it. I do like reading things.
Um,
Be nice a little bit, right?
I'm telling them to be nice. I'm telling them to be nice. Be nice
I'm
to us.
Please, please, please be nice to us. We're sensitive.
like a
After
person.
after you review us, subscribe to us on whatever podcast service you're listening to us on. Recommend
can-
us.
Yes, recommend us, please. Send it to everyone in your contacts list.
Recommend us to your friends, your family, your enemies.
Your dogs, your cats.
Yeah, leave it for them. If you gotta go out of the house for a little bit and you're leaving them alone, play it for them.
Yeah.
They have something to listen to while you're gone.
Mhm.
They'll enjoy it. Stimulates their brains too. You pregnant? Put the headphones down there on the belly. What's up?
I'm gonna kick you the next time I see you for
That's
that
fine.
one.
It's fine. Hey, they say play music while you're pregnant, like Mozart and shit. Play us.
Why do I feel like my dad just played like Dave Matthews and
Probably.
Boss?
We have an Instagram run
Yes.
by our amazing social media person, Hannah.
Woo.
So
Come-
follow us there.
Yes, come follow us at Nothing to See Here Pod on Instagram. And remember, that is here, spelled HEAR.
And socials will be in the description
Correct.
for all of you to peruse. Also, send us an email, nothing to see here podcast at gmail.com.
Send us some topic recommendations. What
Send
do
us
you want to
some-
hear us bullshit about?
Send us some questions. Send us comments that you might have about any of the topics we've previously done.
Send us some hot takes.
I do
Yeah.
like that.
We'll evaluate your hot takes. We'll
Mhm.
become a court that
Ooh.
judges you.
Idea for the future.
Oh geez. Real quick, if you are looking for the parenting podcast, wrong place.
Yeah.
If you're here for the parenting podcast and made it to this point, like an hour and a half in,
Yeah,
thank
welcome.
you.
Welcome. Yeah, you're what a ride you've been on.
But it's not what you were looking for. I'm sorry.
Anything else for any of us to plug? Amanda, you have anything you want to plug?
I have no life.
All right.
So no.
Hannah, I know you have something you would like to plug, so plug
Sure.
it.
Find me at readinghasruinedmylife.com. I do book reviews weekly, mainly a lot of horror and mystery. Yeah,
Awesome.
I have fun stuff there. Come hang out.
It's a very fun blog.
That was
when
the worst plug I've ever done.
I'll plug it for you, Hannah.
Oh, thank you.
I'll add on to your plug.
Mhm.
Readinghasruinedmylife.com. Great blog. Phenomenal. I haven't read every post, but the ones that are all very well written and very
Oh,
entertaining.
thank you. Thank you.
And we make
Un-
appearances.
Yes, occasionally Amanda and I will make appearances on Hannah's annual Halloween monster fights. So
Yeah.
please take a look over at Reading Has Ruined My Life.
We should have
And-
done a Valentine's Day special.
And she is on Twitter as well. There.
Well, I am on Twitter and Instagram at Reading Has Ruined My Life for Instagram and at RHRML blog for Twitter.
And the Twitter is fun. I follow the Twitter. I do follow on Instagram, but I'm not on Instagram that much. But I do interact with the Twitter sometimes.
We post lots of memes. Come hang out for the memes.
I think what you guys mean to say is the website formerly known as Twitter.
No, I will only
It
ever
is
call it Twitter.
I will not refer to it by that.
I've refused to update
Whatever.
the app on my phone.
Oh, I should have turned updates off.
I
Mine
did. I turned
automatically
auto
updated.
updates off as soon as
Oh,
they changed it. And
should've
finally,
done
I'd like to do a little plug. I didn't plug last week, so I'll do it now.
Right.
Also on Spotify and on YouTube. If you liked hearing my inane ramblings and my stupid comments, then find me with the Pack Rats. That's PACRATS, another little podcast that I do.
It's a great podcast.
We are three halves of a whole idiot on that show. We just do random shit as well, but a lot less structured than on this show. If that's at all possible.
Yeah, I don't know how that's possible.
I was gonna ask if we actually had structure.
More than we do there. More than I do over there. But yes, thank you for listening. And we will be back tomorrow with an episode on Stead Bonnet. And we will be back the rest of this week with episodes daily until we have the whole week filled. And then we will become a weekly podcast moving forward from there.
Mm-hmm.
So saying goodbye, this is Frankie.
I'm Hannah.
And I'm Amanda.
Goodbye.
Bye bye.